Hey, welcome to another Drop Command devlog. This is devlog number 6, and my name is Matthew. Drop Command is a 3D mech combat game with old school MechWarrior 2 type aesthetics. You'll be able to play as infantry, tanks, mechs, aircraft, and a lot more. This devlog was supposed to come out at the end of May, so I'm about 3 months late with this. COVID knocked me out for close to 30 days, and then I ended up taking on an extra project. If you're interested in mech card games, you can check out Mech Shuffle, now available in early access on Steam. I also spent a lot of time this summer on my research, going to conferences, presenting results, and generally being a very busy student. However, we're back working on Drop Command, and I'm looking forward to sharing all of the new stuff with you today. I've split this video into 3 segments. First, I'll tell you what's new in Drop Command, then I'll talk about what our latest game design challenges are, and finally, we'll talk about what's coming next for Drop Command. So what's new? Well, there are 4 major additions that I want to go over, and those are additive scene loading, a new unit, a radial menu system, and a tree generator. So a big part of this update is the ability to set up different portions of the scene separately to be loaded together with other parts. For example, if you're in a binary star system, then the twin suns should be loaded regardless of which planet you're on. The current planet will determine the strength of the gravity, and together with the current biome, will set the atmosphere to load into the scene. Eventually, we'll get to the point where procedural terrain will be generated and spawned in, and a mission template will be used to spawn objectives, friendly and enemy units, and so on. Speaking of units, way back in April, I promised that the next devlog would contain the new VTOL unit, the one that Ben teased in his art devlog. Well, it's in the game, and it is pretty awesome. While the previous VTOL is a fast attacker meant to strafe in and fade fast, this VTOL is beefy and powerful. It has a mounted underbelly turret which can pinpoint heavy weapons fire. It is capable of defending a zone against assault or providing fire support for coordinated push. It is very fun to pilot with a lot of maneuverability. It's not the fastest unit though, but it definitely is a force on the battlefield that cannot be ignored. Last time, I discussed the issue of building a command interface. I explained how old-school MechWarrior games used a command list with many keyboard shortcuts, and how MechWarrior Online uses a radial menu system. I'm planning to use a radial menu system, at least for now. It provides a great compromise between ease of use and depth of content. It also means that adding new orders doesn't require memorizing new keyboard shortcuts, and that's a pretty big bonus. I'm still working on the command interface, so what you're seeing now is a placeholder for a better menu with better icons. It will need to be replaced and polished once the squad commands are finalized. The radial menu to give squad commands can be opened with a single button press. Once the menu is open, time slows down to give you a few moments to think and to act. This can be very important since often you're going to be in the thick of battle yourself, with very little time to spend on ordering your squad about. Slowing time doesn't make you invulnerable though, you're still going to take damage, so you can't think for too long. Currently there are 3 squad commands: guard position, attack my target, and form up on me. The 4th option on the radial menu allows the player to switch from commanding one squad to another squad. There is quite a lot of work left to do in polishing this interface and giving the player visual feedback so that the orders have been given and are being carried out are obvious. Overall, I'm quite happy with this implementation so far, and I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback. By far the most time-consuming thing I've worked on for this devlog is the tree generator. In order to decorate the planets and biomes, we're going to need many trees and boulders and other such doodads. Writing a system to generate new trees to fit certain aesthetics allows each mission to be unique, while keeping each planet and biome feeling consistent throughout runs. As an example, consider a high-gravity planet, which might favor trees with wide, short trunks and very few branches. Compare that to a low-gravity planet with towering, wispy trees. Of course, the species of tree will also have to be distinctive based on whether it lives in a tundra biome or in a marsh, and so there will be variety in that respect as well. The key to the tree generation is an algorithm called an L system. Essentially, you specify a list of rules and a starting seed. Then, you iteratively build a list of symbols using the list of rules. Once you have a list of symbols, you can interpret the symbols as instructions to build a 3D model. By changing out the starting seed, the set of rules, the number of iterations, and the interpreter, you can produce an infinite variety of similar or dissimilar models. If you're interested in a more detailed and technical explanation of L systems and how to use them to create 3D models, let me know. I could put together a tutorial. Currently, the tree generator is capable of generating a large variety of trees with varying shapes, sizes, patterns, and leaves. There's still a lot of work to be done developing the tree generator, especially in terms of optimization. Most importantly, the tree generator is not actually implemented in drop command yet. My next steps are going to be incorporating the tree generation into the mission loading hierarchy, and at the moment trees are non-destructible, but I do plan to fix that as soon as possible. That's it for the main additions to the game for this devlog. Now I want to talk a little bit about the current issues and challenges that I'm trying to work through. Aside from the tree generator, which still needs a lot of attention, I have a lot of work cut out for me in order to generate terrain and missions. There are a lot of design decisions to make here, which will drastically impact the overall look and feel of drop command. Games like MechWarrior have semi-realistic terrain with smooth hills, ramps, and curved surfaces. Games like BattleTech, on the other hand, I'm talking about the board game here, as well as games like MegaMech, exist on hexagonal grids. There are pros and cons to these different terrain styles, and you may have noticed throughout this devlog series that I've been leaning towards a hexagonal terrain structure. I might change this in the future, but I feel like it adds a unique and interesting feel, and it's a nice call out to the BattleTech board game, which has been a large influence and inspiration for drop command. In terms of generating the procedural terrain, using a grid system will simplify my life tremendously. Being able to layer grids generated off of each other can really streamline the procedural process. For example, we can start by generating a height map as a numerical grid and use it to produce basic terrain. Then we can use the height map grid to calculate good placement for trees, doodads, and other such things, creating a grid with those locations. The locations might block some types of units from movement through certain areas, such as preventing grounded vehicles from traversing through heavy, thick forests. We could then use those two grids in conjunction to create an objectives and locations grid, specifying open areas as drop zones, objective locations, and guaranteeing that the mission has a natural flow and progression to it that matches with the terrain. The unit AI could then use these grids for pathfinding, while the squad AI could use these grids for organizing and commanding the squad members, and the strategic AI could use the grids to determine where to call down reinforcement drops, where to order squads to move, and to develop interesting defensive or offensive battle plans. Okay, let's talk about what's next for drop command. Over the next month, I have a few things that I definitely want to work on. First of all, new units. I have a backlog of 3D models to add to the game. While I was sick, Ben has been busy creating several very cool mechs and tanks that I need to incorporate. I plan to add all 6 of the mechs from Mech Shuffle, which Ben has already created the 3D models for, as well as the 2 mechs which I promised in the previous devlog, but didn't manage to get around to this time. If everything goes well, you can expect up to 8 new mechs in the game by next month. We currently have 2 biomes in the game, jungle and desert, except for the trees and doodads, which are still a work in progress. I would like to add 1 more biome for now, so that we have 3 to choose from. What can I say? I do like to have variety. I'm trying to decide between a snowy tundra, a cratered moonscape, and a rocky highlands. If you have a preference, let me know in the comments below. Integrating the tree generator with drop command is going to require a fair amount of work, but I think I can have it done for next time. I also want to have the basic structure in place to generate the terrain procedurally. I won't worry about getting all of the functionality for missions and the strategic AI just yet. As long as I can get terrain, trees, and drop zones working procedurally, I will be very happy. If you want to support the channel and support the development of drop command, then hit the subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, then check out Mech Shuffle on Steam and drop a Steam review if you've played it. In any case, I hope you're enjoying these devlogs. I will do my best to have the next one ready for you in about a month, and I can't wait to have more progress to share. So take care, and thanks for watching.